We are going live right now. So, how is everybody? Let's see if I got my chat correctly done. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. All right. So obviously, we do have a tornado outbreak that is underway, and it is time. The day has come. I've been talking about it for weeks now, and here we go. So we're going to go over here, and we are going to go to the severe weather outlook for today. If you're not experiencing rain right now, then oh, if you're not experiencing rain right now, then chances are, and you're in this. Hold on. I don't think we have anybody on here yet. All right, so let's talk about this. Storm Protection Center may today, as you see, the moderate risk has been extended well into Tennessee. So northern Alabama is in that moderate risk. High risk is just south of the Tennessee Valley area. So that's where your highest threat is going to be. Today's threat is extremely high altogether. So let's get into it right now. You're going to go to the storms right now, and I'm going to start pulling up tornadoes, and we're going to watch them. And hopefully, especially if you get one near Vicksburg or something, I mean, I'll have a camera on that, so we'll be able to look at that tornado. So I don't think it's going to be able to boot up a quad pane. We're going to try. We're going to see if we can boot up a quad pane radar with a stream running, and it's glitching all over the place, but I think it's going to work. All right, so let's start talking about this. We have this line of severe thunderstorms over here in Mississippi. This is what we got to be watching, all right? It's not too intense right now. I'm thinking that this part of the line is going to fly up towards Tennessee. So it's not actually going to get to the Tennessee Valley. I think the part of this severe weather situation that will make it to the Tennessee Valley, however, is likely these supercells that are developing down here in Louisiana. We've had several tornado warnings down here today, so that's why I'm live, is we're going to talk about it. And probably be live for the rest of the day. So definitely seeing some more concerning looks, at least on these two products, though our reflectivity has now loaded, and our velocity. We're going to take a closer look at this storm. That, to me at least, looks like it's the most concerning storm. Right now, at least. Let me just look at the rest of them. There's one over here that has a little bit of a hail core. I think we got to be watching this storm. Yeah. So this storm is likely going to cycle multiple times, as these supercells do. And you can tell it's a supercell because of its high vertically integrated liquid signature. And this basically means it's lofting liquid very high up into the atmosphere, very violently. So definitely on this, we have wind. So obviously not a tornado. We don't have a very tight rotational signature. But if we were to have a tornado with this, it would be just north and west of Clarks, Louisiana. And this is treating directly northeast. So Richward, Louisiana, Chatham, Louisiana, Eros, Louisiana. These types of places, I mean, it's time to get to your shelter. I don't think it's doing much, but like I said, with these types of storms, especially with these supercell thunderstorms, they could cycle multiple times and cause a lot of damage. I think that is what's happening here. Now we're seeing a more tighter velocity signature. We're seeing wind going towards and away from the radar in a very tight area right in here. So you see green is away, red is towards, and you see how they're very close to each other and they're intensifying. This is a tornado signature. However, on correlation coefficient, we cannot confirm that it's lofting debris in the air, so we're just going to assume here. Storm is looking a little interesting, especially with these new cycles that we're probably going to be coming into it, as well as we got to watch these storms here developing in a 75-50 environment. 75-70, 75-68 out here, all right? Very juicy atmosphere. And these storms are just going to feed off that. I'm noticing a slight velocity signature over here. It doesn't look too incredibly robust and disorganized. We're just going to have to wait for these storms to organize themselves. Threats to the Tennessee Valley, which is what I consider my viewing area, probably won't happen for the next 5 to 6 hours. All right, we're going to reboot this thing up. We got some updates. All right. Oh, they just canceled a severe thunderstorm. Oh, no, they kept that severe thunderstorm warning. Then again, I think this storm for now is the most concerning thunderstorm as it's moving into a radar hole, though. But that's where, like, we don't have good radar data on it. It is looking, though, like there's definitely a higher end tornado possibility with this one. The old rotation, which is back in here, is weakening. It's getting kind of gusted out by the rain. The new rotation is wrapping around and developing in the southern flank of the storm right here. So we're going to have to watch not the old area, but the new area of rotation. Like I said, Bank Springs, LA, all right? This is getting closer and closer to you. I think it's going to miss you because you're not in the warning. It's just going to track just off to your west. Then places that are going to be actually involved in this, it's a little bit more rural. Well, we are going to have to watch Monroe, Louisiana, which is something I don't want to say. They get hit by tornadoes every year. And here we go again, Monroe, Louisiana. Major city in Louisiana, right? And this looks like it has its sights set on Monroe. If this were to make it to Monroe and continue its strength, probably next scan we could get a tornado to drop out of this one. All right. And actually, is that a new velocity scan? It looks a little different. No, it's the same velocity scan. Well, a different vertically integrated liquid scan. Looks like there's still an intense updraft in that thunderstorm. We are going to move away from that thunderstorm, though. We're going to talk about we're going to go through all our warnings. I'm just waiting for this to stop flashing. Actually, I don't need TVSs today. I'll turn on TVSs if I need them, but I don't think I need TVSs. I'm going to turn those off. Tools, settings. All right, we're going to go into tornado vortex signatures, or TVS. Turn those off. That's going to prevent some of the lag on our system. Oh, do I also have observations on? That's what's really lagging at my system. I have observations on. Oh, we got a new correlation coefficient scan coming in. Well, as the reflectivity and correlation coefficient update, I am going to go to tools. I'm going to go to settings. And this is WX by Joshua T, by the way. Check it out. And I'm going to turn off observations. Observations is what's lagging up my system. And after that, lag shouldn't be experienced too much. We're going to go back. And like I said, reflectivity is still booting in. We're going to give it a second to do that. All right, it now has done that. And all eyes are on this thunderstorm here that's moving into Monroe. So we're going to watch it. Still got about 40 minutes in Monroe. We're going to move to our second severe thunderstorm, like I said, in a radar hole. You're not going to be able to see it very well. But definitely two distinct updrafts in this thunderstorm complex. And maybe even a little hook on the backside of that. So be watching for tornado warnings if you're in East Carroll Parish. If you're in, what parish is this? Oh, Lake Providence. Why are these all moving towards big cities like Lake Providence? But anyway, it looks like Lake Providence might be under attack now with this thunderstorm. I don't think it'll be too severe, and I don't think it'll happen very soon. But there is a chance it starts to get its act together. Pretty much an outbreak of tornadoes is now underway. There's going to be tornado warnings. I mean, we're getting a break right now. Like, this is a relaxation. But I am noticing that there is a special weather statement, a big special weather statement. And I'm also noticing some severe thunderstorms in Tennessee. So we're going to talk about those. So for our radar site, we're going to use DJX to view this one. Little south, we'll see if DJX has a good look at it. I mean, DJX is trying its best to see this thunderstorm. I think it might be a little north. But yeah, that's very concerning. Also, just look at the wall. Look at the wall of just severe thunderstorms. All severe. It's just a wall of violent thunderstorms that go all the way across Mississippi. Let's talk about this. This storm is just starting to get its act together out here. And I am noticing a small amount of rotation on it. This may be the one to watch. because it's all by itself and it's isolated. Its updraft is just starting to go up, but it is taking an inflow. It's coming towards in Winona, Mississippi. I'm not saying this is a big tornado that's knocking on your door, but we're going to put out a watch. I mean, we're just going to say there's a chance. There's a chance that when this gets to Winona, it starts becoming tornadic. So we're going to have to watch it. Definitely taking in some inflow. There's just so many storms. It is just a break before we start getting the big supercells to fire here in South Mississippi. Once we start getting the big supercells to start to fire in South Mississippi, and these get here, and we have the line that's approaching Florence, Alabama, that's when we'll probably be at our max severe weather time. There's just going to be so much going on. I noticed these severe thunderstorms in Tennessee. To look at that, we're going to use NQA, also known as the Memphis radar. Yeah, we boot up the Memphis radar. And there's definitely a threat with these. I wouldn't say the threat is incredibly high, but actually it's not high at all. I'm not seeing intense thunderstorms here. They look very rain cooled, and they're kind of curled back in their shell, not really doing much. Oh, new CC scan coming in. This one does have a little bit of an updraft, as you can see. So does this one, but they're flying to the north. There could be an area of rotation, particularly on this one. It's definitely wrapping up, even though there's nothing for it to wrap up on because it's such a weak thunderstorm. You see how it's kind of curling back like this? All right. Glint Edge, Tennessee, I would consider getting into your safe spot personally, just in case it just gets super wrapped up for some reason. And these storms in Mississippi, they are just super weak. It's going to take a while for this to get any organized, but right now, even like they're in a moderate risk area, and that is no point of severe weather at all. That's just rain. However, it does look like it's tracking. Now, I noticed that it is going a little bit more westward, which would be good news if you're in a place like Tupelo, Mississippi, because if this gets to you before the cells does, you might be safe. However, I don't think that's the case. This storm up here looks concerning. It's almost like a little donut hole thing going on with this one. Not this. This is rain. This. It's a super weird signature, but there's definitely some rotation on it. It's not intense rotation, and I don't think it's going to get tornado warned. There's definitely something in there. These storms are looking like there's so much. Like, look at. I just want to show you something, just so you kind of understand that I don't think this is good news for Tupelo. All right, let me get my handy dandy drawing tools out, which if you were on my last stream, I used drawing tools a total of 153 times. So we're just getting this one started. Get out the marker. Please work. Give me the marker. Can I draw? Yeah. Right in here. You see how the shape of the storm is kind of doing that? So this is why I think this is not going to move westward at all. I don't even think it's going to get to Tippah County, Union County, Lafayette County. It might get to you. I think this is your line. I think this is as far west as it's going to get. We're going to draw this line here, and we're going to see if I'm right, because I think because this storm is so powerful and it's ramping so much moisture in this direction. That's kind of making the storm very concave, and it's kind of retreating back. So it's actually going to move more in this direction. And that's just what I calculated there super quickly. Get out our severe dashboard. All right. And we are going to cancel this. All right. Actually, should I just get back into my severe dashboard? All right. You know what? As these storms kind of bubble up over here, we are going to, as we have a break, I'm going to go to my severe dashboard. All right. Because I feel that the threat is becoming very high in the coming minutes, if not seconds. So we are going to have to worry about that. But Northern Alabama is not on a tornado watch yet. But there's many mesoscale discussions going out, right? So the newest mesoscale discussion, which is this one, all right, is talking about thunderstorms. So it's very messy. National Weather Service notes that. But as this rain kind of lifts to the north, the atmosphere here is just going to, especially in northern Alabama, middle Mississippi, it's just going to really start to ramp up. And that's why that MCD is out, is because your severe weather threat is just going to gradually increase. But I'm not saying that this will become like this area of rain. If this area of rain makes it super far westward and just becomes this line, which is not what it's looking like. I mean, it's looking pretty bad. Now, the MCD mesoscale discussion 198 does highlight that your greatest threat for tornadoes is down here in Louisiana and Mississippi. It has been like that all day. All right, you could get some pretty strong tornadoes out of that. We're not touching northern Alabama yet. You guys still got about 3 to 4 hours, maybe even 6, 7 hours until we're even considered in any MCDs. But what's kind of weird is that it's showing that this line is moving. That it's moving like west. East, which would limit our severe weather threat. The newest thing they just came out with is this tornado watch. All right. Effectively. All right. Yeah, so this is just kind of for hail and strong winds. And this line of thunderstorms that's in Mississippi had just been gradually weakening the whole day. Our threat is truly going to come, probably not from this line. It's going to come from the storms down in Louisiana. Those are here. This is to our direct west. So that's not going to make it here. At least I don't think. We're going to check that. Because if that makes it here, then our severe weather threat is just going to be, it's going to be less. Let's see, somebody put something in our chat. Okay. I don't know what that means. If you guys have any questions about severe weather, please tell me. We're going to get into this stupid forecast models here that are not doing a good job. All right. Weather data, numerical models. First model I want to look at is the NAM-ST. Yeah, most of these are showing those thunderstorms in Mississippi. Yeah, just to kind of gradually weaken. And then almost rain cool the atmosphere here in northern Alabama. So this would significantly limit our severe weather threat. We wouldn't have super intense severe weather if this was the case. I mean, we'd have some, but I mean, judging by the way this is looking, probably not. It's just showing this line just gradually advancing westward with supercell outbreak. And Louisiana quickly transitioning into a line, and then that line transitioning, bringing out some supercellular thunderstorms in like the Birmingham area. Now the HER, which is more accurate, and this is 12Z. I want the latest Z, 13Z. All right, shows that rain leaving northern Alabama. Then kind of shows this area of the line weakening. So right now, it's kind of like this. Shows that strengthening. We kind of get some supercellular activity later today. This is in 2 hours. And then after that, we get the super. This is so weird, but it says that we get supercells, like supercell thunderstorms. And then we get so many, it kind of all merges with the line, and it just kind of turns into rain. It becomes a heavy rain threat. And then southern Alabama, they just get supercells all day. Like, especially these that develop out here in about 7 hours. These will be very dangerous, but shows the track of the line. Like right now, it's moving in this direction. But it just continues to show it developing and merging with the storms in Louisiana and just making this big squall line. And if we truly get supercell development like this out front of it, that's going to be a problem. Let's look at our cell composite. Like I said, Mississippi is high, but this line just cuts those high values right off. And then the HER has proved a weird point it is saying that because of all the rain that we've had this morning, that our severe weather outbreak could very well be over. So these videos that I made were for precautionary measures, and we still could have a super big tornado outbreak south of Birmingham. But judging by what it's looking like now, the atmosphere in northern Alabama doesn't seem to be carrying over. Like, we have Cape right now. We don't have a lot of it. We have Cape. And there's definitely Cape along the line, but it does not show that Cape getting any stronger. We might not even break 1,000 joules per kilogram. Our significant tornado parameter values are very low. The only time when they exist is in, like I said, Louisiana, some super high values in the Gulf, and then that kind of transitions to just thunderstorm activity, border of Alabama, Mississippi, and it's just not looking all that impressive. Your helicity swaths, I mean, there's definitely a tornado outbreak with helicity swaths like this, but just as you get into this area, you see it's not very supportive of those super intense helicity swaths. You're right. Now I'm going to use one model that's been intriguing me is the high resolution model, because it's confident that, and so far the high resolution model, as of now, has gotten most of this right. Let's just play a big GFS model thing. So we watch those thunderstorms go by. Shows the system next week. I don't think we're going to get snow out of this, but there's a lot of talk about that. And then just a very active weather pattern. It's just what I said a couple weeks back. Let's look at the high res. This model has been showing consistently, like correctly showing this. Shows this a lot stronger than what it actually is. Right? But does show those supercells in Louisiana, and then shows literally just a linear event later today from northern Alabama. And the WRF, ARW, this is a very advanced computer model, shows storms initiating, shows that morning rain in more of a squall line, which is kind of weird, and then shows us getting hit later today. So kind of a weird situation. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't think it's going to be too significant for severe weather today in northern Alabama. Now, there is something sketchy that could happen. I'm actually going to check out if that sketchy thing will happen. It's super weird, but let's say if I played the her, no, I'm not going to use, I wish I could use COD. If I play the her on pivotal weather, and I take a sounding, there's one thing about it that could make this not a bust, and that we would actually have severe weather. Right? Though I know I want everybody to stay safe and all the severe weather to go away. But with confidence this high that there will be big severe thunderstorms, there should be big severe thunderstorms. People shouldn't be lied to. And I think that there's a chance that there has been no lie and that there will be big severe thunderstorms and they'll be super abundant and we got to watch out for them. So if we go to composite reflectivity here, you still got to watch out for whatever supercells form out ahead of the line for us. That is probably going to be our biggest threat, is whatever supercells form out ahead of the line. And that's where you can get your super big tornadoes, is that any supercells today that form out ahead of that line. And especially on a day like this, that literally cannot be ruled out at all. So let's say 6 hours from now, all right? You're talking 6 hours from now, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right? I'm not going to be on till then because we're not seeing significant severe weather right now, even though that was the idea. And this is why I never use pivotal weather. I want to use it so bad because it has a better sounding system, but Always. It's so laggy. Look, my whole screen is frozen. Six. Is it gonna crash? Let me try that again. Oh my god. It just wasn't responding. I type in Pivotal Weather and Weather Channel comes up. Pivotal Weather. Like I said, whatever supercells develop, alright, depends where they're positioned, but if they were to develop, which is what the idea is, those are the storms that we need to be watching. It's literally about to crash. I want the her. I want it with the composite reflectivity. All right, did that pretty quickly. I want it on hour 6. There's the big challenge. Oh my god, look at the screen rendering. Just 1/2 at a time. Okay, so on 3 o'clock today, this is what our radar could look like. If our radar were to look like this, we're going to take a sounding right here, and we're going to see why. So what does the HER say our max temperature will be? This is about our max temperature. How high could the temperature get in northern Alabama? And the HER says 72 degrees with a 60. Is that supportive or what of severe weather? That's very high. Especially if I push just one more hour forward, it's just going to freak out. We could be talking 75 degrees. Right? That's very high. That's high stuff. And that confidence is rising, especially for these supercells out ahead of the line, which, by the way, these will be super photogenic monsters of thunderstorms if they develop in the way it's showing. But we'll look at our temperature. All that rain-cooled air. Can we get rid of it? What will it show? Yes, we can. 70 degrees. So, definitely confidence is rising that our temperatures will get pretty high because of this event. So, I think that I'm going to end it here. I'm going to come back on at 12, and that'll probably be my big, long live stream. Let's see who put something in the chat. Let's see if they have any questions. All right. What do you think what effects do you think the upcoming storm could cause? Well, because there's a tornado outbreak, the effects are tornadoes. There could also be hail and damaging wind, and that'll be across Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. Just if you're in the southeast, just watch out. Those are the effects of this storm. The more futuristic upcoming thunderstorms, they'll just do the same thing. I want everybody on their toes today. We'll see what happens. But judging by what I'm seeing now, is that it depends where our temperatures go. If our temperatures break 75 degrees, then supercells are just going to explode. But they have to break that. Our atmosphere has to be ready to support thunderstorms. I'll see you guys in like 3 hours. I'm just going to wait for these storms to mature, and I'm not just going to waste time on here talking about thunderstorms that haven't matured yet.